I hope you'll forgive me." My heart pounded as I unfolded the next page. It wasn't just a letter, it was a confession. "You remember the summer you turned 16? When I told you your father left because he couldn't handle responsibility? That wasn't the full truth. He didn't leave. I asked him to go. I read those words over and over. She asked him to go? Why?" The letter continued. "Your father wasn't a bad man, Claire. He was broken. He was kind once, before the accident, before the drinking, but when you were little, he nearly drove off the road with you in the car. After that, I made a choice. I chose to protect you, even if it meant you'd hate me someday. I told him not to come back until he was sober. He never did." I dropped the letter, my hands shaking. For years, I'd blamed her for pushing him away, for not trying harder to keep our family together. But she'd been protecting me. She carried that secret alone, letting me believe she was the cold one. That night, I couldn't stop crying. I sat on the attic floor until morning, reading every word she'd left behind. The letters weren't just confessions. They were memories, carefully written to guide me through her life. In one, she described her dreams as a young woman, the way she wanted to travel, to write, to fall in love again after my father. But she never did. "You were my life, Claire. You were the reason I woke up every morning, even when it hurt to breathe." I could feel her in every word, as if her spirit lingered in the ink. The final letter was dated 2 days before she went into the hospital. "If I don't make it, I want you to promise me something. Promise you'll live, not just survive, live. Don't let fear turn into your home like it did for me." The next week, I started therapy. For the first time in my life, I talked about her, not as a saint, not as a ghost, but as a woman, a human being who made choices, mistakes, sacrifices. And slowly, the anger began to fade, replaced by something softer, understanding. But just when I thought I was finally healing, something happened that pulled me back into the mystery. One morning, while going through Mom's things, I found an old cassette tape inside a drawer labeled "Personal." The handwriting wasn't hers, it was my father's. I hadn't seen or heard from him in 18 years. My hands went cold as I picked it up. The tape had one word written on it: "Sorry." I didn't have a cassette player, but Ethan did. When I brought it to him, his face went pale. "Are you sure you want to hear this?" he asked. I nodded. We sat in silence as the tape began to play. A man's voice filled the room, tired, raspy, but unmistakably Dad's. "If you're hearing this, it means your mother's gone. I don't know if you'll ever forgive me, Claire, but you should know the truth. I didn't mean to leave you. I loved you, baby. I just couldn't live with what I'd done." His voice cracked. "The night of the accident, I was drunk. Your mom was in the passenger seat and you were asleep in the back. I don't remember what happened. I just remember the sound of metal and her screaming your name. When I woke up, you were fine, but she was bleeding and I thought I'd killed her. She made me swear never to drive again, never to come near you until I was clean. I tried, Claire. I really tried. But guilt eats a man alive. And when your mom said she'd tell you I left, I let her, because it was easier to be the villain than to make you see how broken I was." I couldn't breathe. The room felt smaller with every word. Ethan put his arm around me, but I felt numb. That secret, our family's silence, had destroyed both of them. When the tape ended, there was a faint sound, almost like a whisper. "Claire, I'm sorry. I love you." Static. Then silence. For a long time, I didn't move. That night, I drove to the lake where we used to go as a family. I sat on the dock, the moonlight a-limmering on the water, and for the first time in years, I spoke out loud to both of them. "I forgive you," I whispered. "Both of you." The wind picked up, soft and warm, carrying the scent of hydrangeas. Maybe it was coincidence, or maybe it was them. The next morning, I opened my laptop. My inbox pinged. One new message from unknown sender. Subject: thank you. There was no text inside, just a single photo attachment. When I opened it, I gasped. It was a picture of the lake, taken from the same angle where I'd sat the night before. And in the corner, two faint figures stood together. One tall, one small, both facing the sunrise. That was the last email I ever received. Some people would call it a glitch, a trick of light, a grieving woman's imagination. But I know what I saw, and I know what I felt. Love had kept its promise. Again, it had carried their souls beyond pain, beyond guilt, and somehow back to me. That was the day I stopped running from my grief. Now, years later, I've found peace. I planted new hydrangeas beside the old ones. I write to my mom every year on her birthday, not by email, but in a journal I keep on the porch. Sometimes I still dream of her, but now when she fades in the sunlight, I don't wake up crying. I wake up smiling, because she kept her word. Love really doesn't die, it just changes form. And every time the clock hits 2:47 a.m., I whisper, "Good night, Mom." The screen stays silent, but in that silence I feel everything, her laughter, her strength, her love, alive inside me, forever.